Minnie, do you want to talk us through the Tim Kelly situation first?
Yeah, so Tim's missed out this week. Been really clear with Tim on what's required of him within his role. Tim was really understanding, disappointed as you would expect. But we're really supportive of Tim that he's going to get back to his best footy. So he's going to go and play in the Waffle this week and really work on the things that we spoke to him about.
What was it in particular that you needed to improve upon?
Yeah, I'm not going to go into the details. I don't think it's for public forum. It's really for Tim and our match committee and our group. So, yeah, as I said, Tim's really clear on what he has to get to work on, and we'll support him in that.
Is this you as a first-year senior coach setting the standard, Andrew?
No, it's really not about that at all. It's about picking a team who we think's rewarding the right behaviours every week and a team that can win each game of footy.
It is a bit harder to drop a senior player though, isn't it? It comes with a few more discussions, a bit more weight. It's not as simple as some other decisions I guess you make.
Yeah, look, maybe, but ultimately it's my job and it's our job as a match committee to do it. And the expectation is the players have an understanding that we're picking the best team to win every week and we're rewarding the right behaviours.
Is he the only senior player that will miss out this week?
Look, we still haven't finished match committee yet, so we'll train today, see where that finalises, and then we'll look at it this afternoon.
Jake Waterman's fitness, is he right to go?
Yeah, we're really confident, Jake. So he flew over early in the week, did a great session last weekend. So yeah, hopefully he's back, and you know we've missed him. He's a pretty important player, and we can't wait to have him back.
How does that change your structure though, considering Jack Williams and Archer Reid have been in okay form as well, but if you go with those two and Oscar and Jake, you're a bit top heavy?
Yeah, it's a good question, and it's something we're working through. Ultimately, we're just going to try and get the mix right, guys that can complement each other in certain roles. So I think I've spoken about this a lot. We're not certain of where our team's going to land, and we'll keep exploring things.
You said Island debut?
Not this week, no.
You said the mix right, Mackay and Curnow. Mackay's going to return by the looks of it. Do you have to bring Harry Edwards back in? Yeah,
it's something we'll be looking at for sure. We understand that if they play all their tall forward line that, and they're a strong marking team, which they are, those guys, they've got a really strong aerial presence. We'll have the right plans for that as well.
Just on Mitch's question, the fact that it's weather at Adelaide Oval, can you go a bit more top heavy?
Well, yeah, of course you can. Adelaide Oval's it's a contested football ground. That's what that oval has shown over the last few years. So, look, there's lots of different ways you can structure up your team, and teams do various things. So, yeah, we'll pick a team that can compete in contest and run as well.
Andrew, how does the midfield mix change without Tim? Like, obviously, it would normally be eating up a lot of those big minutes. So, do you throw the keys to the youngsters, or is it Baker and Graham do the extra heavy lifting?
We have to wait till Saturday afternoon, mate. We're working through it. Like we're trying to pick a team that really can complement each other. Clearly, we're going to be a bit younger in that space. That's obvious, but that's also exciting as well.
I feel like I ask you every week about tagging, but Paddy Cripps, dual Brownlow medalist. Do you maybe look at someone like a Ruben Ginbey to run with him and try and curtail his influence?
Yeah, he's a really good player, Cripps. Like as you said, dual Brownlow medalist. Very, very hard to stop. Huge body. So we'll be looking at our best plans that we can put in place to try and curtail his influence, but he's not easy to stop either.
Trouble is with the back line, obviously, last week. How do you tighten that up against Carlton's forwards?
It's an interesting point. I'm not sure it had a little bit to do with the back line, but I spoke about it pre-game last week. We had to have the right pressure on the ball. Giants forwards are so dynamic and versatile, so unfortunately we weren't able to get the right pressure on the ball last week. So I think I mentioned you could have a few Hall of Fame defenders in that back line last week and they would have struggled. So, yeah, our focus will be we need to defend better, and that's all areas of the ground.
Matt Owies was walking laps the other day, obviously had that big collision with Toby Green. How's he pulled up and is he available?
Yeah, Matt Owies, we're confident he'll be able to do a little bit more today, and he'll be right to play this week, which is great.
Jack Hutchinson in the same boat as Jake Waterman, being available and just ending the green line at the end?
Yeah, so it'll be final session for Hutchie today, but he's completed his rehab. So we're really confident he's done the work, ready to play again, and we'll just get through today and see where that lands.
What do you make of Carlton's second quarter? Take a 8 outs. You talked to the boys about that and maybe getting a bit more energy up to overrun it?
Look, we're going through the same challenge ourselves. So we'll look at every avenue in ways we can beat Carlton, understanding that they've had a challenge in second halves this year, that's real. But I'm sure they're speaking about it internally as well and trying to create some plans for their second halves.
Andrew, last week you had Oscar on Sam Taylor. Jacob Wearing's a pretty handy defender, although a different one. Do you just back him to try and kick some goals on Jacob Wiedering, or do you look to try and negate him?
Yeah, so the role of a key forward, it's pretty broad, but ultimately kicking goals is the outcome. But they need to be able to compete aerially and give us a chance at ground level. And for the most part, Oscar did that reasonably well last week. But we know Wiedering is one of the best intercept mark players in the competition. So certainly our delivery and our contest ahead of the ball will have to be really strong to be able to stop him influencing the game.
You're putting a bit more emphasis on your leaders this week. I saw you talking to Graham and Baker after the game at the weekend, and then there's a vision of Liam Duggan's effort on Darcy Jones. Are you putting a bit more pressure on them to lift the standard for those young guys you've got in the team?
Yeah, I think it's every week. That's the expectation of your leadership group and your leaders. They have to be the one setting the standard, and regardless of performance, that's the same for every leader. So we have high expectations of our leaders, and they're proud players, so they're looking to rectify where we're at the moment.
Minnie, what about Liam Ryan? Did he fly over, and will he be available?
Yeah, so Liam's flying this afternoon, which is great. Trained last night with our waffle program, so yeah, we're really hopeful he's good to go.
And just on Harley, a few contract offers put on the table last week. Were you part of that process, or have you spoken to him about it? Just giving him a nudge, maybe just get that pen?
Just trying to convince him, you think? Look, we've got a list management team run by Matty Clark, so I'm a part of that process, but we clearly want Harley to stay and be a long-term player for our footy club.
How confident are you?
Staying next year?
He's contracted for next year.
Yeah, if players are contracted, but they ask for trade, so you certainly will be at the club next year?
Yeah, well, we haven't heard anything to indicate otherwise, so yeah, we're confident Harley will be.
How confident are you long-term with Harley?
Yeah, right now he's invested in our footy club. He's coming to work every day, training to improve, so we just got to keep creating the right environment and encouraging Harley with the right behaviours, and that's all our job is.
Is the idea to play him at half back, Andrew?
It was a joint effort. It was spoken about it for a long period of time. He's played halfback previously, played there as a junior as well. So I think we saw some signs last week that were much better for Harley, and we're excited for where that can take him.
Do you think we'll see more of that this week and for the rest of the season?
Look, potentially. We're going to be in this space where I think I've spoken about it. We're going to explore a bit, but yeah, this week he'll play halfback again. But even last week we put him through the midfield at different times. So as we evolve, that'll evolve as well.
The Blues are in a bit of a rut at the moment. I think they've only won 2 of their last 13. Are they gettable for you this week?
Yeah, I'm probably not really worried about that. I literally go into every game thinking every team's gettable. And I think that's how we think. So we're just going to spend all our energy focused on us. We've got stuff in our game that we've worked on this week that we're really clear we have to get better. And we're excited for that challenge.
There's a lot of footballers in town at the moment. Have you got any coffee dates lined up with any potential recruits?
You'll have to follow me around the next few days, Mitch, and see. But there is a lot of people in town. And Gather Round's a great concept. You can feel the buzz in the air around town. Cyndi Lauper's playing tonight, which is very exciting. If you guys get a bit of spare time, you could go and see a concert. But it's a great week for footy.
How's Matt always feeling coming up against Carlton?
Yeah, he's excited. He helped us this morning with our Oppo presentation. Clearly was a great servant of the Carlton Footy Club. But he's now one of our players, and as all of our players wants to beat him this week.
Do you echo Brad Scott's views on coaching around the competition, the fact that the coaches aren't paid enough and the environment isn't what it should be for an elite organisation?
I can speak to the fact of the soft cap coming in and the assistant coaches. It's been a challenge. Like, I've been an assistant coach for a long time, and my salary was higher in 2017 than it was in 2024. So that's a challenge that is real in our competition with the soft cap, and we've got to keep finding ways to keep good people in our game.